Hi, all you moms out there. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to partner with you over the next 6 weeks and helping you just to learn some tools that I learned some of mine through trial and error. and so I'm hoping to help you learn them, not necessarily have to learn them the hard way like I did. And one of the things I want to talk to you about today is learning how, with each of your children, to celebrate their uniqueness. One of my favorite scriptures is Psalms 139. And 139 and 14, it says that we're fearfully and wonderfully made, or wonderfully complex, some of them says. Some of them says we're wonderfully unique. And I want you to know that your children are all wonderfully unique. They're all made completely different, and that's the way that God designed them. The same as you're wonderfully unique. And one of the things that I had to learn with my boys is to really learn to celebrate their uniqueness and how different that they are. And with Jonathan, I could always see things in Jonathan that I had saw in myself from a very early age. And without meaning to, I would put pressure on John constantly to try and change those things and make them different, because I didn't want him to suffer some of the things that I had suffered. And so without meaning to, I was constantly highlighting his weaknesses instead of magnifying the strengths that he had. And I'll never forget one day when I was in the middle of just really getting on to him about, Jonathan, come on, you got to think, John, just use your brain, you got to concentrate. And I saw a look on his face that I remember being on my face as a child. And it was just a look of defeat, and like it was a hopeless situation for him. And when I saw that, it broke something in me, and it was a brokenness that I saw in him. And James later came to me and pointed out the very thing that I had done, that I knew I'd done, but I also needed that little push from him. And that day I decided to really start to concentrate on that child in his uniqueness and how beautifully that God had made him. And because I'd grown up not thinking I was very smart because of those statements. And I didn't want John to think that he wasn't smart, because he was brilliantly smart, just in different ways. And one of the things I'd learned about myself is I learned differently than other people do. And that was what Jonathan was experiencing. He learned different than what other people did. And so I had to really think through even how to teach him. I had to really think through of how to get him to learn, because he did learn differently. And in doing that, but also there came the time that very day that I sat down across the table from John. In fact, I took him to the Oasis in the mall and sat across the table from him and said, son, I want to apologize for what I've been doing to you. And when I told him that I wanted to apologize, because I realized I was doing to him the same thing that my parents had done to me, not meaning to. I mean, I didn't mean it to do it to him no more than what my parents had meant to do it to me, but the damage was done all the same. And so I apologized and said, I'm so sorry, son, because you're such a brilliant little boy, and I want you to know that. And I remember his statement was, Mom, if I was just more like my brother. And I told him that day, I don't want two Jims. I want a Jim and a John. And that God didn't give me two Jims. God gave me a Jim and a John. And so this week, think of ways that you, with your own children, you can let them know their uniqueness and celebrate that uniqueness. Celebrate the way that God has made them. Let them know that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that God made them exactly like they are. I hope you're as excited about this as I am. I think we're going to have a great time over the next 6 weeks. And as all of us know, if you can do anything for 21 days, you can break some old habits. And I believe that God is going to revolutionize some of you moms over this next 6 weeks. So look forward to talking to you every week.